Quarter Life Critics. Today is October 22nd. And I am sitting here today with my best friends, Grant
What's up?
and Patrick.
Welcome to the show.
And as you guys already know, we are the Quarter Life Critics, the only show where we review the best TV and film the world has to offer. And we are back after a short hiatus. We had to take a little break. We had to go see the world. We had to go explore. We had to take a deep dive into reality. You know, this is the virtual world, but sometimes we need reality to really make things real. But let's jump into it, guys. Let's get on that horse, and we're not trotting. We're not whatever that middle one is. We're galloping. We're galloping straight ahead. And
Cantor.
as you know, Ganser is it
Cantor.
Cantor.
Cancer. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That's why I need some help sometimes. So, without further ado, as you already know, every show that we have bi-weekly, starting now, there is a director who guides us, sort of like the horse instructor. When you don't know where to go, you look to the instructor and you say, "Hey, where are we going today?" And they say, "Stop trotting, stop cantering, gallop this direction." You go, "Okay," you trust them with all your heart. And that is the director of this episode, who is none other than myself. So, yay, I will pass the baton to myself this time. Today, we are going to be discussing not an old French film, not a Blade installment of Blade, which I just saw was indefinitely delayed.
I wonder why.
But
We're the best, probably. Yeah.
we don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But it is none other than Bullet Train released.
You said Blade Train?
Blade Train. They managed to mix the movies together. So I picked this one because I heard of it. It's sort of modern. I think it went a little under the radar. I heard good things and I heard bad things. I saw an A-list cast and I said, you know what? Let's ride. So, Patrick, do you wanna introduce this film?
I will be your assistant conductor and introduce it. Ladybug is an unlucky assassin who's determined to do his job peacefully after one too many gigs has gone off the rails.
Ha. Ha.
Fate, however, may have other plans, as his latest mission puts him on a collision course with lethal adversaries from around the globe, all with connected yet conflicting objectives on the world's fastest train.
Thank you, Patrick. Now, let's get into it. With the first segment, I always like to call Wait, What? And this is a segment I like to include in movies that are particularly not straightforward, somewhat confusing. Maybe there's a lot of things going on. There's an ensemble cast, and it could be a little confusing to follow what's going on here. So, who wants to start? What did you think of the plot, the nitty and the gritty of what's going on here? Grant, you want to go?
I was following mostly along. I think.
Yeah, maybe it was not a problem for you. Maybe it was.
I was following until the Hornet confrontation, and then, I don't know. There's so many characters at play. I thought I was following, but from there to the ending, I feel like is just very confusing. And in general, I think the film is kind of the theme of the film. There's so much going on.
It's too much what?
There's so much going on and fast cut
Okay.
and action that it's discombobulated. I would hope. I don't know. Disorienting film, and to me, it never really settled. I never felt like um, the movie settled.
So you basically the ending hits maybe, and you weren't satisfied with that. You go, okay.
Yeah, I would say that.
First question that I have for you: did you watch it with subtitles, Grant?
No,
Okay.
no, dude, that I was so upset with that. The one act, I don't even know their names. The dude with the kid.
I think they're just referred to as the elder and the son. Well, not he's not the
Prince?
elder and
No, this the lady.
no, the
That's
prince is
girl.
the woman, is the girl. The elder is the older guy who's got the sword and stuff, and then he has his
Yuchi looks like.
yeah.
So I think it was a combination of his his delivery of his lines and the mixing of the film. It was impossible to understand whatever he said. Like he just was breathing, talking. It was like worse than Batman. It was
Even
so
with the new
bad.
sound bar.
Yeah, I mean, I tried it on like multiple EQ settings. It's just, I think, a combination of horribly mixed. They should have made his voice clearer, and the delivery of his lines, like the way he acts. I thought he was like such a bad actor because of that. So
I
that
still
was
thought you're
frustrating.
mixing. You got that guy. You have accents in play, and you just have general fast-paced dialogue that I thought it was a must. I mean, I had him on, and I felt like I was watching an anime at some point because I was doing more reading than paying attention to what was going on on the screen.
Yeah, maybe I
What did
should
you
have
think, Pat?
done that.
Yes, I had subtitles. I felt like it was, the first half was intentionally confusing. They're laying all these different threads and showing you different backstory, quick like snippets of backstories that you don't quite know how they're going to come together. You don't like, outside of the fact that it's like Brad Pitt, you don't really have like context clues of like who's important, who's not, and you're just kind of being thrown like all these different people. But yeah, I thought it was fun for sure. It did feel like an anime. Felt kind of like Deadpool, or like very like modern with like the quick flashes of music going like directly into the scene. Lots of like witty, fast dialogue, especially with like Lemon and Tangerine. I thought they were so funny. I liked the little Atlanta actors popping in. Thought they always did a good job with Paperboy. Forget her name.
Kimiko,
No,
the boys.
oh, I guess that's true
Or are you
too.
thinking of someone else?
Atlanta. It was Paperboy and
Oh, I know it was Paperboy played Lemon, Tangerine, one of them,
yeah,
the twins.
and then the Hornet was the Donald Glover's
I
girlfriend.
don't know who she was. Oh,
Really?
Yeah, I remember her now.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I thought everyone did a mostly good job for an ensemble. But hard movie to pull off, A lot of moving parts. Has to be conducted well.
Thank you, Pat. Let's see here. Grant, let's try and clear up what was going on. Let's see if you ask a question about the plot. Let's see if me and Patrick can answer it. So what was the unsolved portion of not the mystery, but there's some motives going on. I think it all comes down to why people are doing the things they do. Who's a big question mark? What the hell?
Yeah, I guess like the White Death in general. I don't know. Like,
So the way I think I took some notes. So it all kind of goes back to the White Death. You know, this guy who's really also I thought was going to be one of them, which I thought which never happened. It was kind of just.
I thought it was gonna be the old guy.
I thought it was gonna be Ladybug somehow. He's like just unfortunately the White Death because of his luck and everything that happened.
That was my
to him.
second one too.
But it was
Or like
just
the lady on
another
the phone,
random
you know?
person.
yeah.
Could be that. Kimiko, the train conductor. Well, attendant. She's not really the conductor. So I think everyone is somehow involved in his wife's death. He only really cares about his wife. He doesn't care about his deadbeat son, who he had to tend to. And he ends up having to leave her side. And then the wife gets in a car accident because Carver was trying to kill him, trying to kill the wife.
No, he was trying to. That was like it was an assassination attempt, but the White Death wasn't there, and she was going
Yes.
to get like bail their son out of jail because he was like a druggie, whatever. So she went to go rescue him or whatever, go get him, and she was killed by who Ladybug was replacing on the job.
Right. And the twins were there in where? Bolivia. And but I think the other portion of it is the prince and the Asian family. They're not involved in they were not hired by the White Death. They don't. I mean, the connection is that she's.
What's the
daughter
connection to
of
the
White
wolf?
Death. So the wolf.
The hornet killed the wolf's wife.
Why the Hornet kill all the wolf's family? Like at the wedding.
That was like the last trail that I was going down, and
Like I was so confused about the wolf and this like poison.
because he's kind of
and the snake.
unpredictable. He
Well, he
I
thought
think he's
that
added more to so he kills the hornet because the hornet needs to die.
well, he
to-
tries to kill Ladybug, who he thinks
Mm-hmm.
poisoned.
I mean, it's a terrible plan. It's just like I'm gonna get all these people upset at each other, and maybe luckily they'll all die. All the while like feigning this sort of, oh, do you have the briefcase and my son and your, like of course he knows the fucking son's probably dead and
He wants the son to die too.
briefcase
Oh,
is-
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're
It's
saying
all
that-
bait.
But they're on like the phone and they're like having this fake conversation because
Yeah.
you think the White Death knows none the wiser. Yeah, Ladybug steals briefcase with money. Hornet's killing the surgeon, who was killed days before the White Death's wife was in a car accident. White Death hired Hornet to kill the White Death's son. Yes. Lemon and Tangerine killed some of the White Death's men, made White Death leave his wife and travel to Bolivia. Carver killed White Death's wife. And then I have what Wolf Assassin was just pissed his entire family was poisoned. It's just, that was Bad Bunny.
I think he just want a cameo.
Yeah, they're like, how do we fit him in here?
Got a little extra
okay,
budget.
so we sort of solved most of the plot stuff. I agree with you, Grant, that last part. It's just so unpredictable that it seems a little far-fetched.
It's a red herring, you know. They're just throwing an extra thing in to keep you guessing.
The wolf is?
So the White Death orders the Hornet to kill the Wolf's family.
You know, you can't have if there's 6 assassins, they're not all gonna be rational actors, you know. At least one's gonna be wild card.
Or the Hornet could have just killed his family for a different reason. And
Cartel hit
she's
kind of
not-
thing.
Yeah, because the Hornets kind of already has a mission to go in and kill the sun on the train.
Yeah, it wasn't like the wolf was like an upstanding citizen. It was like a like
He's also an assassin, though, I think.
yeah, for like the cartels or something. He like I don't know.
Didn't
Didn't
flashbacks going on.
you're making yourself a target, so you're just gonna get killed eventually. You take power with violence, your power will be taken with violence.
All right, well, I think this is a good little transition into our next segment called Har Har Har, where I chose this film because I saw action/comedy, and I think within the first 10 minutes, I realized this is going to be way less comedy and more action. I don't know if I was in the mood for that at the time. I was like thinking more of a Step Brothers pure. I wanted to laugh. That's why I wanted to watch this goddamn film. So I want to ask Patrick first. What were you laughing at in this film, or were you not laughing? What was...
It's hard to get like I'm struggling to find like an exact line, but I really like just Brad Pitt and just like just kind of like stumbling through being his success, you know? Like he's like clearly very capable, but also he like doesn't want to be capable. And it's just kind of like stop, I just don't want to do this. And juxtaposed with his like skill, I thought it was pretty funny. I thought Lemon and Tangerine were very funny together. It's quick, funny, witty lines in their little British humor. But outside of that, I'm not sure if anyone else was like too funny. I feel like though they kind of carried the comedy part, but it was definitely actiony. All sorts of fighting, all sorts of weapons, a lot of fair amount of gore. But I feel like the three characters really carried the comedy portion. But Brad Pitt can do pretty much anything. So, yeah, that's it.
What do you think, Grant? How do you respond?
I felt like it was times being, I could tell it was trying to be funny at times, and I chuckled maybe once or twice, but I didn't know, most of the humor didn't hit for me, to be honest.
Is it because you were sick,
I agree.
Grant? Did that have anything to do with it?
Maybe. Lemon and Tangerine, I think, had the most, they were the most dynamic. But even like, the Thomas the Tank stuff, like I felt that was ran to the ground. Like it was just used way too much. You're like, okay, the first time it's funny, but it's just like the same joke,
No, Diesel.
Yeah, exactly.
Diesel. You're being a diesel, Grant.
I mean, maybe it's like, I can see it like cult classics, I feel like have kind of repetitive things like that, so it could age better. But no, I wasn't, excuse me. I wasn't laughing that much, but also, I was maybe in the same boat as you, Quinn, where I didn't really know what to expect. I went in completely blind. I didn't really expect it to be that much of an action film. Very actiony. I think action in general, to me, is pretty unappealing. Just doesn't really click with me, unfortunately.
I think it is a clear, I wish I was just in a theater, just having some big loud, just kind of brainless stuff going on. And even
some popcorn in front of you, a big old Coke Zero.
No, I'm sipping on a Sprite, first of all. So
have you had Sprite Zero? Sprite Zero is pretty fire.
I have not. I might have to try that.
It's pretty fire.
I think I would have at least, and it goes to show you, it's the trailer too for the movie, because it's kind of just go, go, go. There's not really like a setup to what's going on. And it just took me a while to get into like, oh, okay, these are assassins, and there's some missions, and what's the relationship with all these people? Where the hell are they even? Oh, they're in Japan. And
why is the train empty? Oh, they paid. to have no passengers there. I'm like, why is this bar? Yeah, they don't really explain anything. So I think I
No.
was in the same boat. It's just like, I think by the time you start clicking, it's like I have lost interest. There's like other films. I'm trying to think of other ones that we talked about that are like that, where there's no explanation, just strap in. You know what I thought was kind of like that? Coen Brothers film that we watched.
Good.
Fargo?
Yeah, you know
No,
what I'm talking about.
no Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men. I
Mm.
felt like it was kind of similar, where it just started and you didn't really know who was good or bad. Remember, it's like starts with the main villain, but then it goes to the guy
Just-
and he's
yeah.
like, and then he's going to get water for these, you know, and goes back and yeah.
You're
No,
like giving weird context. Yeah.
But you're,
Yeah.
yeah, you are watching one person at once, which helps. You go, okay,
Yeah.
what's this guy about?
Yeah,
Versus like,
this
bam, bam, bam. Oh, conversation about blah, 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 blah.
I,
It's like jokes that like.
I regret maybe
Yeah.
not putting on the subtitles. Just it was really hard to follow.
it was hard.
Brain was like getting
and
sleep.
British accents, I just struggle.
Dude, that one dude, whatever his name is, Andrew Kochi, is his name. He's so bad. That was his breakout film. It looks like no, it wasn't. But
So
he doesn't have a photo on his Wikipedia page, so he can't be that famous.
damn, glowing reveal. I felt too that it was a bit jumbled, a little all over the place. It felt like sometimes the jokes were coming to me at double time, and I was like,
At bullet speed.
like a lot of quick-witted, yeah, like bullet speed. And doesn't really give you time to laugh or enjoy the moment. And it was a weird mix. It was like a Kill Bill mixed with a Marvel film that were like some. I liked the Tom's the Train thing. I think that's like a good nugget of, like you said, something like a cult classic that could be referenced a lot and continued later. But then you throw a bunch of, like, it's just like kind of throwing stuff at the wall, and some of it sticks. What else did I like? Called Brad Pitt Homeless Man. Some there was some other meta things where the elder guy's like telling Brad Pitt, he's like, "Do you want to hear a story?" He's like, "No." You really want to hear? You need to hear the story, which is funny and kind of unexpected from your typical action or.
Did you have a
comedy.
favorite quote?
My favorite quotes. I didn't write anything specific down. Do you have one while I figure one out? Besides the.
Maybe the
No, I
Diesel.
don't. Diesel.
Yeah, I mean.
There was
It's
one I
Diesel.
forgot I wrote it down, but it was like one of the. It was like the first time I laughed, and it's like 30 minutes in the film. I was like, I forget what it was.
I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
I did not laugh. It hurt people. Hurt people. Stole my snake, bitch. That was not that funny. I mean, that was kind of like a weird, like, were they going for
Snake
some
on a train.
Snakes on a train thing that really they just briefly touched on it and never went all the way with it. I was like, come on, snakes on a train. Just say it.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of like half cooked, red herrings. Like you don't know what's going to be a main plot driver. Versus, because like they're showing like the TV stuff about the snake. The dude's dead.
Mhm.
The son's dead. But then the hornet's just like not important in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how they are dying, right? It's the poison from the snake.
Yeah, but it's like
Why does she need to have a fucking snake on the train?
That's a good question.
No, so nothing specific. I think there were some lines that hit and some lines that didn't, and maybe we could clean it up a bit. All right, any final funny things that anyone wanted to say? Recount? See, I mean, the fact that we're, not like, oh, bro. Even in some of these films that we've watched, at the time, it doesn't seem that funny. And you're like, a little smile. And then you recount it and you start laughing and you go, oh my God, that was good. And I'm struggling a bit.
It's fair. It's a good observation, though. I didn't like the movie, though. Like, I thought it was good, but just maybe too much going on.
like
It
something
doesn't
that doesn't-
stick.
A movie is multifaceted. Just because you don't audibly make noise from your mouth doesn't mean you can't like the movie. But let's compare it to other films. I call this segment Bullet Trains. Another reason why I just picked this film is because I'm a big fan of Snowpiercer, which also takes place on a bullet train of some sort, an even cooler bullet train, I will argue. And there are other films that I have not seen: Train to Busan, Source Code, Murder on the Orient Express, The Polar Express. A lot of these films take place on trains. And I'm just going to compare it to Snowpiercer, where I thought it was lacking the coolness that you have on a bullet train. In Snowpiercer, they're moving from the back to the front, and like every cart is different and sort of has a theme. In this film, you have basically they all look the same, and there's like one like anime cart that is a little different, where the Hornet's dressed up as the mascot.
Yeah. I thought it was, I thought, about it, they didn't do a very good job. And I think this added to the disorientation of like the continuity. Like, could you tell me what the order the trains were, like the cars were? Like, no, like they should have, though. I think they, like, to your point, I remember Snowpiercer, like and it's a very different film.
Right.
Where like isn't each like it's like you're going through different classes, right? It's like the shitty
the rich
slums,
people are
like
on the
disgusting,
front.
and it's slowly like getting richer and richer. So it's different for sure. But I feel like this, the train.
Why does it have to
setting
take
was
place on a
not-
bullet train?
Yeah,
This
I
could have
don't
taken
know.
place anywhere.
Yeah,
Could
what
take
did-
place in like a karaoke bar.
It kind of reminds me now a little bit of like Hateful Eight, where like we're at the bar. I don't know if you guys seen Hateful Eight, Tarantino.
They're in the cabin?
Yeah, they're in like a tavern. I don't know if it's a bar.
Aren't they like snowed in?
Yeah, they're
am I
like
thinking
snowed in.
of-
And then it's like, but it's the
Okay.
same kind of thing. I think everyone dies except like one, and it all plays out. But maybe this was a similar theme. Like maybe this had
Sort of.
pulled it.
I think of that like just a room that you're trapped in room. This is sort of a bunch of different little rooms, but then you kind of have to do some magic where you say, oh, I bought all these tickets, and is the only reason they're in Japan because I know it's based off a book, but because they have bullet trains and America doesn't have bullet trains. I mean, everyone's American, sort of, or Western. I do not know. Patrick, do you have any other train films that this reminded you of, or?
Train to Busan's fast. That's about it. Like it's like a zombie movie. The zombies are so fast.
Does it make it scary?
Does make it scary. But yeah, I feel like they didn't really use the train as like a train was like it was also just like a misdirection. Like you guys are saying, like the real thing was just like a tangled up assassin. Like it's like a whodunit kind of thing. It's like you're trying to figure out the mystery, but it's weaved in action. and like quippy comedy. So like I wouldn't even
there
say
is-
it's like a mystery almost.
Yeah, there is no mystery. I mean, you're not. I don't know what you're trying to figure out.
I don't even know. I mean,
You're not really trying to figure out anything.
Yeah, you're trying to figure
it's
out why
just-
Ladybug's there. At least that's what I was doing.
Yeah,
He's just not.
I don't know.
I
You're
think he's
also
on a
like the
mission to get some money. He
kid. I
works.
feel like the kid starts with the kid kind
Mhm.
of.
Yeah, you're just trying to figure out what's going on. Like there's something
almost-
at play here.
It almost didn't need to be in Japan. I mean, besides the Yakuza, like, reference.
Could have been
but
anywhere.
I think
yeah.
it could have.
I
If they
thought it
made
was
it
Korean. I
cooler.
thought it was like, yeah. I kind of felt like it was Korean at first.
If you fully
'Cause it was
embraced
lame?
all the cool parts. What, you thought it was Korean? Or sorry.
I was just lashing at Koreans.
'Cause
Sorry,
Korean.
catching strays.
No, I think if you play up the anime angles, you play up the hyper technology focused, shiny, bright lights, all the sort of things that why people go to Japan and not other places, then
Or if you like, maybe like
Makes
what you. I think really the setting and the creative design of the cars would go a far way. Every single room, for the most part, besides like the bar room, was just rows of seats. I think that's why it's super disorienting. But you could just have it you could have like, a couch lounge, a bar, a pool, like you could make them pretty distinct from just like a row of seats. I feel like, I don't know. They didn't really do that. And they just didn't do a good job at like you had no sense of where the cars were, which I think would have added to it. You're like, oh shit,
I
like
see. Like,
Lemonade
when are they
Pit.
going to get to that place?
Yeah, like that's
some
the next part.
suspense.
This, yeah, you're like, oh, now they're going back into the, what's the, I'm trying to say,
Shibuya or whatever.
where like the snacks are, like whatever they pass out, the complimentary shit at like an airport
Mhm.
airplane. So they got your snacks and your amenities and shit. That room, and you have your bar and
Your concession room?
yeah, concessions. So, but
Oh,
you
I
think
thought
it
you
has
meant-
sense.
I thought you meant closer to. You also don't know. They're talking about they're going to meet at these different stations, and there's no I have no reference of
Oh,
how many stations away are they? Or
Yeah.
is it in the next 5 minutes they're going to hit there? And they're just like,
yeah, Kyoto versus Tokyo. Yeah,
They could use like a 5-minute countdown sequence.
yeah,
Those
some
always
sort of
those always are
clock
pretty
somewhere.
solid.
Yeah,
or just you look up at the wall and they show you the blinking.
you see like the lights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Really, any.
I'm
any
sure
sort
they
of
have
thing.
that in the actual bullet train in Japan. Like they
They might
have.
have had to take that out to film the.
Yeah.
All right, bullet trains. Let's move to our second to last segment called The Weakest Link. We've sort of touched upon this already, but there's a lot of shit going on, and I think they could have tightened it up a bit. And part of that means someone gets the boot. Which character, which person or people do you think did not help this film? Or you can fight back at me, Quinn. You can say, you know what? I thought everyone had their place and part, and I wouldn't change a thing.
I'll go. There we go. Put me on.
Great. But come on.
I think the prince, the girl, I think she was cringe, and yeah, pretty much cringe the whole time. Didn't add too much. Yeah. I did not like any of her lines. I didn't like the whole
motives or her dialogue.
yeah, her dialogue, her like whole like, oh, I'm a little girl and I'm gonna trick you to think I'm innocent, but really I'm a bad little girl. I'm a bad girl who's gonna kill you. I just thought it was overplayed.
It went on for so long too.
Patrick, yeah. What?
That's an
would you
excellent
say?
suggestion. I would also vote her off,
Yeah.
but in the name of the game, I'm gonna kick off Wolf. You know, he just doesn't like lazy assassin. He like a lot of back. Like he's got more backstory than screen time. And it's just like
He only added confusion.
yeah, it just doesn't do a whole lot. Maybe that's intentional though, but and it kind of kickstarted things, but also it's just like sloppy. Just felt sloppy.
I wanted to bring up. So this film is based off of a novel, and they actually did a gender swap for the prince. So in the book, it's actually a son, and I think they're a bit more malicious and commit more atrocious acts in the book. So I think when you try and soften it, and I don't know why you gender swap that role and not other roles. It really just makes things confusing too. It's the prince. That's
Cess.
kind of like the princess now. For me, let's think about this. Follow the spirit of the game. I'm not going to pick the prince. I'm not going to pick the wolf. I think I would pick one of Lemon and Tangerine.
No, bro, they're a duo.
Yeah, they are a dynamic too.
I mean, they're a duo, but is it just to set up the joke that they say, oh, they're twins, and you're like, they don't look like twins, and then they have a
Exactly.
flashback where they're
think
like
that was my
watching
first
TV
laugh.
together.
I think that was.
I mean, that was funny. You're like, okay, they actually are twins.
Quinn's taking away your only laugh, Grant.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, basically one of them dies, and it doesn't really do anything.
No,
So
that's the
maybe-
sad part.
Yeah. Lemon. That was.
Well, they both kind of die. All right. Then I guess I'm gonna have to go with. You know who could have been better?
What about?
Is the conductor. That guy was like the only real employee dude. They should have given him some more any lines.
Should get him a gun.
Yeah, he should be like hardcore Yakuza. Just
Like a
make
Japanese
him say
robot
something
armor
funny.
suit. Turns into
That'd be
Judge
kinda
Dredd.
cool. And he just flies away.
Get off my train.
Immediately. Yeah. So maybe some improvements to that. And Kimiko could have given her some more lines. Say, shit, she's a star in The Boys. I guess she doesn't talk in The Boys either. Oh man,
Typecasted.
I know, right? The moment is finally here. I know you've been waiting for this one, so I'm gonna let Patrick go first in this next. This is our very second to last. Oh, I already said second to last, but this one's really the second to last segment, and that is Bullet Train 2. All right, Bullet Train 1, 2022. It's wrapped up filming. It's gotten okay reviews. The life of the future of the Bullet Train franchise is on the line. So we need to come up with some ideas, maybe a plot, maybe many plots, maybe some reoccurring characters, maybe no reoccurring characters for how you're going to pitch Bullet Train 2 to these bigwigs, these executives. They're just counting all their money. They're thinking about that. They're wiping their brow. They're like, I'm making so much money with these Marvel movies. Oh, Iron Man 8. How
Hear
are
me
you
out.
going to do it, Patrick?
Hear me out. We've got stars, right? Sandra Bullock, Brad Pitt, Maria Ladybug. Bullet Train 2 focuses on the transition from the chaotic environment that isn't realistic in the Bullet Train to Ladybug and Maria taking over the Yakuza and taking over the bullet train industry in Japan through order and standardization. Ladybug, he's gonna fight through his, he's gonna use a lot of, his therapist's suggestions for organization, keeping things, on time, and it's kind of like a, self-help. He can turn a new leaf. He can get away from assassination, and he can do something good for society. But then something goes horribly wrong.
Oh wait! Hold up! There's no what? Where do I have any?
One shot.
Exactly. And then there's gonna be some music that comes in, right? So
Scary music.
yeah.
Scary rock and roll.
Yeah. Definitely not thrown off here.
That was supposed to help you.
I'm shocked. Yep, this is on me.
What was the twist?
The twist was the twins weren't twins, and there was a triplet to get the revenge. Grapefruit is coming through to squash his beef.
Wait, is Grapefruit's gonna kill Tangerine?
Ladybug.
Yo.
Ladybug.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I like the addition of the triplet.
That's good.
I think that would go well in a sequel.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Patrick. All right, Grant, you got big shoes to fill. The bigwigs, they just got done hearing Patrick's. They sent him out. They said, "Okay, we're done with you. Go back to your $32,000 a year screenwriting job and serving Starbucks coffee." And they go, "Next," and you walk into the room and you put your folder down. And they go, "Begin."
So, Bullet Train 1 was such a hit. We want to use that same structure, right? So everyone's falling in love with Ladybug, and he's invited to kind of a resort. It's not a mission, but it's his last place assassins go before they retire. So he gets there, and there's a whole new ensemble of cast that you're going to meet that are also assassins that have just completed their last mission, like Ladybird. So they're there in a nice resort.
Ladybug.
It's a high school coming of age.
Excuse me. I really loved Bullet Train. Ignore that. I meant to say Ladybug. I loved your film. I loved it.
Okay.
I loved
Continue,
it.
sir.
So they're on a resort. Imagine, White Lotus Resort, all with their own rooms. You're meeting them. They've rented out the only resort. The only people there are assassins. And then you hear that one of the assassins was just killed. By who? The Wrath of Judgment. And it's a mystery. It's the same thing. Instead of the White Death, it's the Wrath of Judgment going around and taking out every assassin for their sins of killing, except one. Only one, the last man standing, the one who can evade the Wrath of Judgment, lives and gets to retire happily ever after.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Where's the bullet train in this?
They take.
We
They
gotta
all
go with
take.
Bullet Train 2. So
Yeah. They all take the bullet train to the resort.
Oh, okay. All right. I
And
missed
the
that.
resort is called
Bullet Rain.
Bullet Train.
Train.
Which
Okay. Oh, thank you
No,
for explaining.
I misspoke. There's actually the resort is called Bullet Train because it's famous for its buffet of food, which is in the shape of a train, which is where all the food's laid.
Okay.
I love this mac and cheese in train cart.
Oh, there goes
Choo,
my
choo, choo.
broccoli and cheddar soup. Oh, we gotta catch it.
Ladybug hungry.
It's behind me now.
Yeah, you know, like a conveyor belt sushi. It's a bullet train.
It's a
sushi.
bullet
It
train.
goes really fast, so you kind of don't know what you're gonna get.
That thing took my hand off.
All right. Well, the executives liked both of your ideas, and we'll probably steal them both and combine them to make some Hollywood slop that will do mediocre. So thank you.
Sounds
I
about
thought
right.
that was a lot of fun. It was more than I laughed on the film.
Take notes, Hollywood
All right.
bigwigs.
Let's wrap it up here with what is this? This is
What is
the
this?
GPQ patented review where we decide whether the true rating of Bullet Train is over or under the IMDb rating.
Mm-hmm.
And we're
What are we
sitting
clocking in at?
at 7.3 with 465,000 votes.
Can instead of over and under, can we say like the train is early or late? Like early is under and late is over. Like
Wouldn't late be
Train?
under? I'd rather my train
Late
be early.
is under.
Wait, it's over.
Yeah.
Wait,
Early,
why?
you want your train to be well, are we arriving or are we leaving?
I see.
I guess both.
All right,
I'd
forget
want it
it.
to
It's
be
too
early.
confusing. Over under. Too much questions.
All right, Mr. Grant, you're first. Spotlight's
Um,
on you. Dun, dun, dun.
How many votes were there?
465K.
465,000.
Wow, that's a lot more than I thought. I'm going
It's a
under.
modern.
Not my film. I thought the humor was a little lacking. And fun fact, it was meant to be a serious action film. And through the process of filming, it turned into a comedy action. According to the Wikipedia. I thought the comedy was a little lacking and the action was too confusing. So that's an under for me. The train
Sir
was
Patrick.
late.
I'm gonna go under as well. It's not far under. It was enjoyable.
It's only a few minutes late.
Yeah, it was
He's still got it.
it wasn't
Still doing
super funny. It like wasn't a great comedy. It wasn't a great action movie, and it wasn't a great like kind of mystery. But it was fair. You know, it was fair to good in all those categories. So it was enjoyable. I had fun watching it. Thought Brad Pitt did well, the twins did well, but the rest pretty forgettable. And you didn't need to be a bullet train. Just kind of weird.
I'm going to follow in suit and going to go under. I wanted to like it, and I was looking forward to something fresh, new, modern that maybe was underrated and wanted to bring more light to it. But I think, yeah, if you're not going to be the funniest movie and you're not going to be the most interesting movie and what you have is an action film, you need to have good sound, good visuals, even like simplicity. Like, don't stop making it confusing.
Why is the wolf in there?
Just have, yeah, just
Subtitles required.
put some more money into some visual. Yeah, subtitles required. It was trying to be a lot of things that didn't quite land.
And it turned out being a QLC bad dog.
The doghouse film. In the doghouse. I thought too that as someone, you know, if you liked action, I didn't find the action sequences that fucking cool. Did you like wow? Oh, you know, like I feel like action people love fight sequences. I feel like the fight sequences were lacking. So
Well,
if
if
I
like Brad Pitt is like it's like a 55-year-old dude, just like
I think he's doing all the stunts too. So
yeah, like
he's no Tom Cruise.
that's why it's so slow.
yeah.
Yeah, he's like
Whoa!
He just kind of showed up.
Not in Fight Club anymore.
Or
yeah,
Troy.
he seemed a little. He seemed like he was phoning this in a little. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
for
seems
sure.
like he's not really like a character. He's more of like just a dude and then you kind of fall back to, all right, well, I just know this dude is Brad Pitt, and you lose some sense of disillusion.
But he's also not bad at. He's like, he's kind of like Big Lebowski, Brad Pitt. Like he's just chilling. He's done with being an assassin. Like he's kind of phoning it in as an assassin.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the character, so maybe that's why I felt like that. He's
I feel like the rest of the movie was just not. It was just all over the place. It didn't have an identity.
It all hinges.
I think
on
it's hard, like
him being replaced. Oh, Carver's sick.
Stomach bug.
It's hard to do what, Grant?
I think it's like I understand creative things change, but to start with like a serious action and go into comedy, I think is like a cop out because you couldn't make it a serious action.
Yeah,
you're like, we need to add some jokes in here. This shit sucks.
Yeah, like why the hell are we on the train? You can't get off a bullet train.
It is. I mean, and it's trendy too, because that's like all the Marvel stuff. It is action comedy, I would say. And I think it lands better for some reason for many people. But if it says here that Brad Pitt was paid $20 million for this role, it'll be whatever the hell he wants.
I feel like that's pretty cheap for Brad Pitt, honestly.
I don't know, man. $20 million just for a couple months of saying some lines.
But so
That's
I think this is originally based off of the book Grasshopper. Is this what you said, Quinn? Or Three Assassins?
I don't know the name of the book, but yes, off of a book. Yes.
Grasshopper, black humor thriller. Three Assassins. There's a manga about it, and bullet trains in any of these.
Oh,
it's just Three
lost you
Assassins.
at the very end. There's the manga, and what else?
No bullet trains in any of these. It's not integral. That's a new part of the American adaptation was the bullet train and the subsequent title of the film.
Weird. Yeah, if you go on Wikipedia a little bit, they're complaining about whitewashing characters, and it's just confusing. It's not like offensive or like inappropriate. It's just like, why are we here?
Yeah, actually, the plot of the Three Assassins sounds really good.
As they usually are.
Good enough to want
right.
to make to want to milk it in America and make a film out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Usually they can do so well. I mean, that's kind of the blueprint for anime that originates from manga. You already have a very popular and like proven story.
A fan base.
Usually turns out, really well. But sometimes the movies, I don't know what Americans F up. Or maybe it's the
those
serialized
executives.
nature where you can go slow. The executives, they're always counting their money. Bastard. Well, they didn't have two young bucks like you guys come in and pitch them what they really need to hear. All right. Thank you for indulging me as the director this time. What are we going to be talking about next time, Patrick?
Next time, I'm going to be the director. And we're going to do a real comedy. None of this fake comedy. We're going to laugh. We're going to chuckle. And we're going to slap our knees. We might even slap the person we're sitting next to. It might be so funny. But don't hold me to that. Who knows? We are going back in time. And we're doing it spooky style because it's Halloween. So we are going to watch 1974 Young Frankenstein. It is a Mel Brooks movie with Gene Wilder. Got an 8 on IMDb, and it's the grandson of Frankenstein, the scientist, trying to prove his grandpa wasn't insane by that you can actually create life from the dead. So we'll see what we think of it. You guys seen it before?
I'm excited. I've never watched a Frankenstein movie.
It's a American comedy horror.
It's a parody film.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, American comedy horror. Is it a parody?
What'd you call me?
It's
It just says
it's
a
like
parody
a
of
spoof,
classic.
kind of. It's like a
Mm.
because it's like making fun of like it's like a comedy of Frankenstein.
Oh, fine. I got you.
Is there a classic Frankenstein straight horror film?
In the book.
I think Frankenstein is, it's a very famous story.
Okay.
Looks like there is Frankenstein 1931, which is it's a horror. Yeah.
It's a horror.
It's alive. Are you guys
I'm
familiar with
excited.
the
I've
story of
switched my-
Frankenstein?
Hmm?
Have you guys read the book or familiar with the story of Frankenstein?
Familiar with the story, but why don't you give a little intro to our viewers, our audience? Do you know?
He's the Frankenstein, right? Dr. Frankenstein.
Mm.
Monster's not Frankenstein.
The whole
Yeah,
question is,
Frankenstein.
who is the
That's all I-
monster? Is it the man who creates creates this thing that doesn't know love, doesn't have a family, just kind of wants love, seeks things out, but destroys what it touches because it was never shown how to live? Is that a monster? Or is the person who like set it free in the world a monster? You know, some rich, well-educated, ambitious person with no empathy. And it's kind of it's 2 point of views. You have the scientist and you have the monster, and they're they're foils. So it's just kind of like a question of morality, dramatic. It's horror because it's kind of scary, supernatural, etc.
I'm excited.
I am excited too. I wanted to give it. This is not even. I made a mistake, guys. I wanted to give another shout out to another real comment we got, but it was actually not on Quarter Life Critics. It was on an older incarnation of when we were all together still on GQ Review
Okay.
on episode number 112, like Stars on Earth. This guy wrote like a paragraph that was a non-AI paragraph.
Indian represent.
Naga Bulbul 6627. So thanks for watching, man. Disagreed with some points that I don't remember at all. So that video was posted 2 years ago on January 13th, 2022. So somehow the algo is still pushing it.
What was that one?
The teacher
like Stars on Earth. Oh yeah. I think in
India.
I don't know if it's Bollywood technically, but
is like the teacher who inspired art
You
in
get-
the
Yeah.
Quinn's got some long hair and a long mustache.
Yeah, I got
Oh my
stats going.
god, dude. No, I mean in the older video,
Oh, really?
your hair's like down to here, dude.
Wait, where
All
is this on YouTube?
This is on YouTube on G&Q Review. But we'll check it out. All right, Grant, you want to take us away, take us out, get us out of here.
Yeah, thank you all for listening. This was a great time and watching. You know, if you're a watcher, all audience members are equal. So thank you for your participation. If you want to follow what we do, you can go on our Instagram. Our handle is Quarter Life Critics, all one word. That's our handle on Instagram. From there, you can go to our YouTube channel where all the fun happens. Every episode is on there, streamed live every other Wednesday if life doesn't get in the way. So with that being said, thank you. And we will see you in 1974 Young Frankenstein. Till next time, peace.
peace.
Peace.